Today on the Business Bootcamp, we're going to be having a very dynamic conversation. We will be talking about access to capital, and of course, we will be looking at blueprint to business success. But before we get to this program started, I want to make some blanket statement. Your success in business is influenced by how you see business. All right. It's influenced heavily by how you see business. Business is about human transformation, business is about social transformation, and business is about economic and national transformation. You need the right thinkers, the right people in your organization to influence these desired outcomes. The big question is, are you prepared to rise to that occasion to foster relationship with critical stakeholders to influence the success of your business? Today, we will be looking at this and so many other topics that can really help the rising star in business to make better business decisions. Today, with me in studio to support in this conversation, I have a number of dynamic personalities. I have Shivani Sinarain, and if you're seeing Shivani Sinarain for the first time, she is a project management practitioner with years of experience under her belt. She's also a lecturer and a business owner. So she has a tremendous amount of experience in the field of business. Welcome, Shivani. I also have Brett. I also have Clement Frank. And Clement Frank, he is an economist by profession. He's a leader, and he has a bouncing baby boy or girl that is in the making. And that's his new book, a book that can literally transform your life. Yes, Frank is in the transformation business, the human, the social, and the economic and national transformation business. Welcome, Frank.
Right.
I also have Paul Whitehouse. And Paul Whitehouse, he is the brain behind Patriot Business Finance Consultant, and he's a BFC. And if you're wondering what is a BFC is a business finance consultant. So when you want money to move your business, to move your vision forward, the person to talk to is Paul Whitehouse. Paul Whitehouse is a humanitarian and he has a tremendous amount of experience in real estate. He has flipped a few real estate property, and of course, he knows the joy of investment. He understands business. Welcome, Paul. Great to have you. We also have Elmore, and Elmore he plays in the cryptocurrency space, and of course, depending on where you are in the world, you may or may not know a lot about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. But of course, we're in the business of bringing the future to now. And Elmore is one of those persons that's going to help you to understand what the future is like, most likely to be, and how you can get yourself prepared to dominate in the future. Welcome, Elmore.
Thank you.
All right, great to have all of you here today. And today we're talking about access to capital, which is so vital for the success of every business. We have seen many businesses start and fail because of inability to access capital. But I know Paul will say that you have so much of financial instruments out there. So there's no logical explanation why a business should fail for the lack of finance. The reason that you should fail should be for other reasons, not access to capital. And Paul will talk to us today about access to capital. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give Paul the floor first of all, and I'm going to ask him to talk to us a bit about capital. But just before Paul gets started, I want to throw the question to the team. And that question I want to throw out is, Can success in business be predicted? That's one question. And the second question that I want to ask, that might be an open and closed question, yes or no. The second question that I want you to think about is, what role does academics play in influencing the success of a business? Of course, we say that academics are the smartest people in the world. So, of course, they must have, or we must have that solution somewhere. So, I want us to talk about that as we get into open up the floor for conversation and discussion in today's program. But, Paul, I want to begin with you. Talk to us about capital. All to you, my friend.
Thank you. Good. Thank you, Gary. Good morning. Frank's got a baby on the way. I didn't know that. All right. All right.
A bug said baby too. Not just the baby, Paul.
Right.
It's a bug said baby, you know.
Mhm.
A baby that has the potential to transform your life.
Paul, you didn't see my reaction when I heard that. I was like,
I do.
when did this happen? I mean, and I'm talking to Frank all the time. I didn't know this.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know definitely, Shivani, that once that was the case, I had to put it out all there so I can get my hampers.
Yeah.
I
What
saw your reaction.
I started to think, how when did this happen? Who is oh, just in my mind.
Yeah.
You see how Gary likes to play with words. Yeah, it's
Yes,
all right.
yes, excellent, excellent.
When
Excellent,
you
thanks.
guys gonna be starting this morning, so all I do is extend the favor, man.
As the
All right,
caption
guys, you guys
Paul,
are
keep things
you guys
simple.
are fun.
Frank keeping it simple.
Keeping it
Yeah,
very
my friend.
simple.
All
I
right,
saw you.
Paul, on to you.
Okay. I saw your face light up, Shivani. You're like, yeah. Well, access to capital, it's available. It's that simple. It's available. There's, I guess, if you take 10 businesses, it's available to eight or nine of them. And in that mix, not every, in that mix of eight or nine, not everybody's got, outstanding, excellent credit. What makes it available to them? Money down. So what makes it not available to that one or two out of 10? Like a decline? Uh, Judgments, right in bankruptcy, right at that moment, tax liens, things like that. So short of complete disaster, difficult credit score won't stop you. Money down turns that no into a yes. What will stop you would be lawsuits, not if you're getting sued for, you bumped into a car or nothing like that. I'm talking lawsuits with your business. So that's the only thing that's going to stop you. On the sliding scale, money down might stop you. You might have an approval, but money down might stop you because maybe you don't have it. But just be creative. When if that happens to us with the client, we just kind of get a little creative with them. We just ask them questions. Sometimes it becomes they just can't come up with it. But if you ask somebody a question that they've never thought of before, then that might give them an idea to find it. And how would you do that? Take on a business partner. Maybe you've got somebody who loves you, family, friend, or something like that, who can let you borrow the money. Maybe you've got another asset, you never considered it. A truck driver wants to get another semi truck, and there's going to be a down payment on that new truck. Um, he's got two trucks that he owns free and clear sitting over there in use. Well, that's an asset. You can pull money from those trucks. That's cross collateralization. So I said all that just to really put the point out there that it's available. It's not like it's not available. It is available. If you've been declined by your bank in the past, like last week, yesterday, last month, and you think that there's no way that you can ever get approved for equipment financing or real estate financing, well, maybe it's true, but you don't know for sure until you talk with us because our lenders are different. Our lenders have much more flexible programs. and credit score won't stop them. If you're at a bank, your bank that you worked with for 30 years, and you think that they love you, maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't think they do, because it really is just a transaction to them. They like you, they don't love you. If they loved you, they would move mountains to get it done for you. But realistically, whatever their programs say, if the minimum credit score is 660 and you're 658, it's going to have to be a no. And there's no way that it can be a yes. So capital is available. And then on the subject with the question that Gary asked, can success in business be predicted? Absolutely, for sure. For sure. Any plan, if you just, the better the plan, the better results of success. If you look at somebody's plan or hear them tell you your plan and you see all types of holes in that plan and you're like, why? How? You don't even know what you're paying for cost of goods, seriously? You know, you can predict problems. I mean, going even a little bit deeper than that, if somebody's got some like substance abuse problems, they drink too much, they're on drugs, you can kind of predict that success will not happen. There's a lot of clues that you can look at to determine, is this going to be successful or not? In the end result, you don't know. It's like who has the best chances and who has a plan to fail. And then what role does academics play in business success? Just like every other factor, there's so many factors that academics definitely is a factor. Okay. If you are well educated, and well educated can come in many forms. It can come from school, it can come from what you've been through, it can come through who you've been around. But if you're very well educated and you put that to good use, and you have an open mind instead of a closed mind, and you're open to new options, you're open to things changing, if you're able to change as things change, then academics are excellent. If academics, if you're in the position, if you have that frame of mind to where you think this is the way it is, there's no other way around it, you can't change this, it's in the book, I got to do it this way, it's in the book, and that's a success for failure. You might have a problem then if you're not flexible, if you think the only way it can be accomplished is how it's written down in the book, then academics is going to be a problem for you. That is called too smart to eat a Pop Tart. If you're too smart to eat a Pop Tart and you don't think things can change and it's only got to be this way because that's what the book says, then academics are going to be a problem for you. So academics, just like anything, can be good or bad. Having a mentor can be good or bad. If you got a mentor that's teaching you the wrong stuff and you don't know it and you're listening, that's going to be a problem. There's so many factors that influence what's going to happen to you in business and definitely in life. So,
All right. Great share, Paul. There is so much that I have to share on this particular topic, but I'm absolutely certain that with the time allotted to us, we will not be able to get into all of the data. So, what I will do, I will give some high level overviews in terms of what a business blueprint should look like. And then I'll come back to the floor to share on the question. So, we have spent many years looking at factors that influences a business success and factors that causes that business to fail. And some of what we have come up with coming out of the research is that one needs to spend time to understand what is the proactive leaders ecosystem. In the brief, what is the proactive leaders ecosystem? Well, you need to have the right players on your organization that can literally apply proactive leadership. What is proactive leadership? It's the ability to think ahead It's the ability to see beyond problems, and it's the ability to take informed action to achieve desired results. Action is different from informed action. Informed action is different from action. But your core players at the strategic level, at the tactical level, must be able to deploy all of this. With time, perhaps I will spend some time today just looking deeper into this particular concept. Next is what I call the corporate culture ecosystem. Every business rise and fall on culture. And very often, you find that many rising stars get into business and you never think about the culture, how the culture is designed to impact your internal workforce, how the culture is designed to impact the ideal client, how the culture is designed to impact the public. All of this matter when you want to be successful in business. And all of these gives you what we call a fair degree of predictable outcome for that business. Third, coming out of the research that we have looked at, we talk a lot about the team dynamics ecosystem. Yes, a business, you may have great ideas. You may be a great visionary, a great leader. But the reality is this: if you are building a business that is going to have human transformational impact, that is going to have social transformational impact, that is going to have economic and national transformational impact, you need your team. So we talk here about team dynamic because, of course, we're not talking about, a cake shop. We're not talking about a small shop. We're talking about a business that can get the work of business done. So we talk about the role of team dynamics here. Then we move on to talk about market research ecosystem. And you see, if you have a business and you're not market oriented, market sensitive, you cannot be market responsive. And you can't achieve this because you don't have what we call the market research ecosystem. All right. So as Paul is right, there are many moving parts that influences the success of a business. And this is where the great minds come into play, because great minds understand these moving parts. Two more concepts that I want to share here very quickly, and then I'm going to come to Frank. We also talk about economic systems, ecosystems. You need to be aware of the economic space in which you're playing in, because not all economies are made equal. You have planned economic systems, you have laissez-faire economic systems, you have these type of economic systems that influences how business is done. So you need to be aware of the systems in which you're operating in and be able to make informed and educated decision of what are some of your predictabilities to be successful. The last that I'm going to talk about here is what we talk about the communication media ecosystem. Now, why is this so important? Because again, we see many rising stars. You have an excellent brand, super brand. You spend quite some time researching and developing, but then you don't have budgetary allocation to nurture visibility, to nurture reach, to nurture impact, to nurture client conversion. No one knows you because you are not thinking about how to use the communication media ecosystem. And the communication media ecosystem is very broad. We talk about mass media, we talk about social media, we talk about the metaverse, we talk about independent communication channel. How well are you prepared to leverage these ecosystems to achieve the business objective? So of course, there are so many moving parts to influence the success of a business. And I want to say to rising stars, get the information, because not having the information, the possibility exists that your business design as it is already set to fail, but you don't know because you are not interfacing with the knowledge workers, those who would have done the groundwork to help you to understand those predictability factors to influence your business success. I'm going to pause here for now, and I'm going to turn to Frank. Frank, the question: can business success be predicted? What role does academic plays in influencing business success? And then you can go into your share. All to you, Frank.
The first thing I want to tackle is the role that academia plays in business. I've always said that academic knowledge will play several important roles in a business's success because academia can offer and often offers valuable insights, skills, and perspectives that can be crucial for the individual or individuals and organizations. I have some key ways in which academia or academic knowledge contribute to success in the business world. And the first one I'm thought of is foundational knowledge. And in foundational knowledge, you have what is called understanding of business principles. So we have academic programs such as the degrees in business administration, project management, finance, marketing, and a whole gamut of them. And what they do is that they provide a solid foundation into core business principles. And this includes knowledge of accounting, economics, management theory, and organizational behavior. Foundational knowledge, the theory. Then there's the legal and ethical understanding, because academic studies often emphasize the legal and ethical considerations in business. Knowing how to navigate regulations and ethical dilemmas can prevent costly mistakes and legal issues. The other one is critical thinking and problem solving. So you come from academia with analytical skills. So the academic training hones the analytical abilities, and which helps the professionals to analyze all those complex studies and complex business situations, how they can identify the problems and develop effective solutions. And then what comes also with this critical thinking and problem solving is research skills. In all academic programs, they often emphasize research methodologies. And this skill is valuable for conducting market research, competitor analysis, and making data-driven decisions. What about strategic planning? You see, strategic thinking, where you have this is where academic knowledge equips the student, the individuals, with frameworks for strategic planning. And this includes, but not limited to, understanding how to set long-term goals, how to assess market trends, and develop competitive strategies. You're also taught risk management and strategic planning. So the business education often covers risk assessment and mitigation strategies. So that helps the businesses anticipate and navigate these challenges. We also talk about from academia, communication and leadership. So what is developed in this part is interpersonal skills, because the academic settings often emphasize communication, teamwork, and leadership skills, which are crucial for managing teams, which are crucial for negotiating deals, which are crucial for building relationships with clients and stakeholders. And then you have the presentation skills. I'm not saying that persons without academia can do presentations or are not good in interpersonal skills, but this is where you have the foundation and how to do a good presentation. So the business professionals often need, let me see, to present ideas. They have to present reports, strategies also. So what the academic training does, it improves your ability to communicate those complex ideas clearly and persuasively. Another thing academia brings is the specialized knowledge. So the knowledge is industry specific. So the expertise comes from the specialization within the industry. in fields such as engineering, healthcare, technology, etc. The academic knowledge provides the specialized expertise that is essential for success in those industries. And then there's the advanced techniques for fields like finance, data science, or engineering. The academic training provides access to advanced techniques and those tools that can lead to innovation and competitive networking and competitive advantage. And I slipped on the word networking. Of course, connections in academia, academic institutions provide opportunities for networking with peers, professors, and the alumni. And these connections can lead to future partnerships, mentorships, and career opportunities. Adaptation to change. This is lifelong learning. You see, the business landscape is constantly evolving. And this is where academic knowledge instills a mindset of continuous learning, which enables the professionals to adapt to new technologies, market
Okay.
trends, and the business models. And I'll stop here for now so that someone else can get the opportunity.
Um, Frank, I must say I love the way that you think, and I really love how you represented academics and the academia. And I do believe that a lot of acolytes definitely need to be thrown at the feet of academic. But there's a couple of things that I want to say. One is that academic in the theory, in most cases, doesn't give you all the results that you've spoken about. And you find sometimes that people learn academics in the theory, not in the practice. The next thing that I want to point out is that as we look at some of the statistics in terms of business and how businesses are growing, we have to ask ourselves, where are the academics in these business? And let me put some facts. In 2021, in the US, we had 20.8% of business startups that failed in their first year. In 2022, we had 40.9% of business startup that failed. And in 2023, that's only 1 year ago, we had 49% of business startup that failed. So the big question you want to ask yourself, where were the academics to bring in their skill sets? So several things. It's either that we didn't have the academics in most of these institutions, we had the academics that perhaps had the theory, or we had the academics that perhaps didn't apply the critical thinking. So you have three different platforms to look at. And however we look at it, as we look at business success in the world today, there is greater demands that we have to place. I don't know if you're going to place it at the feet of academics because, of course, yes, we know that they're supposed to be bringing the critical thinking, the critical skills. But when we look at the reality of their influence on the business success, it leaves more to be desired. I know this is going to open up some debate, but we're going to come to that. We're going to set up some time to look at it. But I really love, as an academic, you represented what the ideal outcome and output should look like when you're working with the academics. So I give you tremendous kudos for that. But I just want to look at some of the facts on the ground in relation to the issue. I'm going to come now to Shavati to get Shavati's thoughts. And Frank, before you leave, because I know you have to leave early, I'm going to come back to you so you can perhaps respond to some of what is being said just after Shavani, and then I'm going to come to Elmore. Shavani, your thoughts.
Thanks, Gary. Now, Frank, I'm listening, really listening in terms of academics and how academics can assist businesses. This is a topic that is of great interest for a lot of persons. You may be a parent, you may be a business owner, startup. and you want to know what to do. Is it that I'm going to send my child to do academics in order to grow the business, family business, or is it that are they going to get a business job, or are they going to work in the organization? So many different ways to look at if academics, so he's using the word if academics can really improve your business, or what is the role, what is the relationship between academic and business growth then. Gary brought some great statistics in terms of startups fail, and then you always have to analyze why is it happening like that. Is it that the person did not do academics, or they went and they studied a degree or undergraduate or masters, and it still is like this? So a lot of data is needed. We have some data and we need more data on this type of talk. I want to share two types of knowledge: explicit knowledge versus tacit knowledge. Now, explicit knowledge will be we go according to the book. So you come and you end up graduating with your degree and you go according to the book. That is what explicit knowledge is. Whereas tacit knowledge is really taking the experiences and the emotions in order to know what to do. So explicit knowledge versus tacit knowledge, very, very important when you want to grow business. Am I going to just say I did a business degree and the business book and all the business gurus tell me to do this and this is what I've learned? We also have to remember some of this literature that we may be learning is donkey years ago. Is it still relevant to the current the landscape? Is it still relevant to today's landscape? Of course there would be some, right? We can't sit here and say no, but this is something that is very, very important. What we are learning, is it going to do what we want? Is it going to give you the outcome that you want? And when you plan academics, that's the kind of thinking that you need to bring forward. Is it going to give the student or the learner, if they want to grow a business, is it going to do that? We'll also talk about it from a Caribbean-based perspective as well. Is it that the literature that is in the books is relevant for the Caribbean? Now, that's a whole different story, and we'll talk hours, Frank and myself and Gary on that, and Paul and Elma. We can talk loads and loads about that. And that is something that is very, very relevant. Is it that the learnings from the book will be relevant to do a startup in Trinidad and Tobago, or to do in Guyana, or wherever we are in the world? So these are really opening up lots of great conversation. Is the literature relevant for where you are in the world? You also have to look at it like that. You have to look at explicit knowledge versus tacit knowledge. I personally believe one size don't fit all. So if you are designing curriculum, you need to look at what is the outcome and where. We can also talk about it as a globalization and the globalized way of doing academia. Very, very interesting point as well. So it's opening up. Gary, you also mentioned about theory versus practical. Extremely important. And theory is really explicit. The book tells me to do this, right? You mentioned another term that I wanted to get involved in, which is outcomes versus outputs. And everything, when you plan, is it that the training that you are planning, or whosoever is planning the training that the student now comes to do it, did people really sit down and think about the outcomes? What do you really want from this? And then only when you know the outcomes of it, you will plan the outputs, which is really deliverables. So, three takeaways, because there's so much that we want to talk about. One, explicit versus tacit knowledge. Is what are we studying, the academics? Is it relevant to where you are in the world? We also have to look at that. One size cannot fit all, I'll always say that. But you will use the building blocks, and then you look at how you're going to do it wherever you are for the startups or what have you. Outcomes versus outputs. And yes, explicit versus tacit, as we said, and practical and theory. So that's my point on that. You asked another question, or did you ask it as yet? No.
The two questions was, can you predict the success of a business? And then the follow-up was the role that academics play in influencing the success of
So you
businesses.
see, I don't listen, I don't take instructions. I do the last first and the first last. Yeah. So that's my point on academics. But the other one, just to mention what you asked, is it that the role you could predict the outcome, you could predict the outcome of your business, and really and truly, I would say yes, due to the fact that if you practice project management, you can do it.
Yeah,
You can do it. You need to. We call it really a pre-mortem, not post-mortem. So it's a pre-mortem meeting. You go into your organizations, you have your meetings with your people, and I love to do this. I say, okay, well, Gary, this is the project charter, this is the business model, this is the access to capital that Frank and Elmo is telling us. Is it that we're going to be a success? We've come to the end of the project. Do you see success? And generally, my people may tell me no. So I'm glad when they tell me no. You know why? Because they'll have to give me what to do. What they don't even realize they're really telling me risk there. So risk management is part of a pre-mortem that could help you to do better success. It's all part of the PM ecosystem. Yeah. So
yeah.
thanks.
Shivani, I do agree with you on all the points that you would have made. And I just want to quickly say this. I do believe one of the significant role of academics in the world today is to provide what we call targeted performance outcome, which means that, you see, the way academics are trained, are supposed to be trained, is to predict the future, predict the outcome, and then say, what are the theses that we can develop to ensure that we can achieve this based on historical data, based on testing, based on the application of configuration management to control the project, if even you have some deviation on your way to achieve the predictable outcome. So the big question are businesses are being exposed to this type of leadership. Of course, if we are training academics in the theory and not necessarily in the practice, there lies a tremendous loophole for businesses to go under. Because when they come into the organization, let me put it this way. When I hire someone, yes, I'm going to acclimatize them to my culture. But I want to know that I have a global thinker. I want to know that I have somebody that can, come in with the mindset to transform. And I believe that too much of responsibility are placed on the organization now to do this kind of re-education as against the academic institutions themselves nurturing this type of leaders. So when they come to the organization, they're coming to push the organization forward based on how they were acclimatized academically. And I'm seeing some gaps in this regard. This is not just a localized challenge. I see this perhaps as a global issue that we need to talk about some more. But Frank, with all fairness, I want to come to you because I know you got to run out. And then I'm going to come to Elmore. You're mute, Frank. Frank, you're mute.
I didn't get to answer the question about prediction
Okay, go right ahead.
of things,
To you, my
right?
friend.
But
Yeah.
and this is where again I stand strongly on an academic background. I'm not saying the others can't do it with past experience.
No, Frank, don't get me wrong.
No, here
I
I'm
think
not
in
going
most
against the grain.
cases, the majority, I think that selective few represent everything that you have said. In the majority of the cases, we don't have it. But I agree. I do believe that they come with a certain discipline that is very, very essential to move a process forward. And I love analytic, they come with that analytical frame of mind. The average person I find in working with them, they don't have that analytics mind. So you're right. But they represent a selective few. That's my only concern. Go ahead, Frank. Sorry for cutting you.
That's all right. So what I was thinking of is data analysis is essential for predicting future business trends, because in the data analysis it can help identify and also understand the factors and variables that influence outcomes. So through the data analysis, the trends and the patterns in the historical and current data can be discovered, and it can indicate what direction and magnitude of the future change that we'll have in the business. Additionally, statistics will show hypotheses and assumptions about business performance, about the market, and customers can be tested using the same statistical and analytical methods. Moreover, future scenarios and outcomes can be forecasted and projected using techniques such as time series, simulation, machine
Mhm.
learning. And lastly, risks and benefits of different alternatives and options for your business can be evaluated using methods such as sensitivity analysis. You have the decision trees and optimization. Here again, you needed an academic background when we're talking about sensitivity analysis and decision trees and optimization. Not saying that if you have a tacit experience, it cannot help you, but they can propel you further with that. Um, we have a lot of big businessmen who are not don't have those academic certificates, to put it simple. But then on the
You're
other
correct.
hand, you have a lot who has. You got Steve Jobs, Richard Branson, Oprah Winfrey, Mark Zuckerberg, Satya Nadella, and those persons are striving in businesses today. So I'll just leave it that for another time when we can pick up on on this. I love the
Yeah.
debate.
Frank, you're perfectly correct. And I love the examples that you give, the opera and so on. I mean, they're a strong example of, how academic can influence success. But to the representation of those that don't even have it, Frank, they are employing academics, and they should have the vision. When we talk about the 2080 rule, uh, the leader of the organization, they have the vision. The 80% that are going to be executing on the projects that represent that business, who are the academics, they're supposed to be, influencing the outcome. But that's a deep water, because there's a lot of gray spot around that. But as time progresses, we're going to go into that. I want to come back to a quick point that Shivani made, and then I'm going to come to Elmore to talk to us about the future of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and see it as a business model. But Shivani, you made a very, very great point, and I really would like to just amplify it a little bit. In technology, every few couple of years, you have to go back and do a refresher course. You know why? Because things are changing rapidly in the technological world. So to ensure that you are relevant with your knowledge and representing the institution that certifies you, you have to go and do an upgrade. But Shaban, you made a strong statement. Some of the thesis that we are being taught from, our kids are going to be taught from, are donkey years old. Your words, donkey years old. And
Donkey.
and we see all types of technology is developing today. There's a major shift from, you know, 20, 40 years back, the industrial age. There's a lot of changes that has taken place. And when you see those changes that are taking place, but the thesis that we are learning from, our kids are learning from, is not changing, there's where a disconnect comes. So when the HR comes to the organization, they're not coming with, that future thinking ideology that Elmore is going to help us out here with. They're coming with some of those old way of thinking. And you want to have proactive leaders. And proactive leaders, they think ahead, they see beyond problems, they take informed action to achieve desired results. And that's exactly what Frank is thinking about, because you must be a critical thinker. To think ahead means that you're a critical thinker, you're analytical. All right. You have these tools to your arsenal. And that's what we expect. And in most cases, as a business leader, you're not necessarily getting all of that. So uh, these are some. Yes, I think academics, well, once they're properly trained, or life skill, once they're properly trained, I do believe that they can help with the predictable outcome for businesses. So I rest my case there until Frank we decide to call a day and we have a massive debate on this issue. Elmore.
All right, I leave you guys.
All right, Frank. Have a great day and always a
All right,
pleasure having you. All
Bye,
right.
Frank. Bye bye, Frank.
bye bye.
But Frank, just before you go, oh, you gone.
Yeah.
Elmore, all to you.
All right. So, in the new emerging tech world that we are currently transitioning into, we have to be very aware that there are several new ways for a business model to work. For example, I have been able to literally able to steal other business models that I have seen that are successful. Now, this doesn't mean that it's going to work for my business. However, this is a great roadmap that you can take a look at and see how, if you are in a complete different business side of things, how is it going to apply to you. So I'm going to say something that is not going to be very popular, but today's entrepreneur and today's academics for entrepreneurs has become obsolete. So, and I'm going to explain myself. So what's going on is that with emerging tech, we have now the rise of artificial intelligence along with the rise of the new internet Web3. And then all to this we have to add the blockchain technology. So what's going on is that everything is transitioning over. Now it's starting to be known that at the higher levels we having these big companies coming into the space, with their ETF products. However, we have I have been able to be part of seeing this whole entire space develop for business purposes. For example, there is a really different thing that's happening in the space to where before, when you created a business model, you were able to have individuals like yourselves in this call to be able to be part of that conversation and see the individual for the money and see the individual for the project management, and to be able to make the idea grow from the vision of the founder. Now things are a little bit split change on this space for the cryptocurrency world. You still use these fundamentals, but when it comes now to this new technology, how it increases, now you can have a whole lot of shortcuts. So what I mean by the shortcuts is, and this is the reason why I say that that the academics area is obsolete, is that you can literally now have all of these positions on a regular company be completely replaced and increase the productivity with artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has developed so far in to this space of business that it is being used already by companies like Amazon, like companies like Walmart. They already integrated artificial intelligence to their business models because it increases productivity. So, and also it cuts on losses, which is another great thing that it's a um, uh, super point for a business is if I can increase your productivity and help you lose less money, can we do that by using this new technology? And it's been working great. However, now we have to understand that also for a business, they don't just have the ability to have the new internet and to be able to have AI, but they can create their own entire ecosystem for their whole entire community customer base. Then how can I put this into perspective? I'm sure that most people know who JP Morgan Chase Bank is, and so I'm going to put what they have been doing for the past 2 years into perspective. It's one of the companies that we understand that they are in the money business. So what's going on is, in order for them to be able to remain reliable in this space, and for them to be able to remain a powerhouse in this space, they already started to create their own digital currency, which is called the JPM token. Now, this has already been going on, and they have already made this live. It's being used in the country of Singapore. They have already run over $1 billion of transactions. Now, why am I saying this? Is because when you are adopting these new technologies into a business model, you have to be able to stay at the cutting edge of what's happening in technology. And these companies have already done that, and they already have it implemented. And why are these companies doing this? Well, if you don't do and implement all of this new technology to be able to increase productivity and to be able to decrease loss, you have to be able to get a group of people, a team of people that are experts in this space that are going to be able to come in and implement this into your business model to be able to increase your productivity in your business, which is the biggest sales point on using artificial intelligence. So, with that being said, there's another little area where I wanted to get into, which is with the community of your business, with having your own cryptocurrency for your business. This makes you a powerhouse in this space because individuals, in order for them to be able to transact within your platform, they have to be part of the community and they would have to carry over that cryptocurrency. Now, this is considered a layer 2 cryptocurrency for educational purposes, which means that you are developing this cryptocurrency on top of one of the most famous cryptocurrencies that you probably know. So, in example, uh, I would mention just two platforms that allows you to develop your own project, and one of them is Ethereum. The other one is Solana. There's difference in pricing, so you have to pick your best or arena for your, to make a sense for you. However, this is already happening at a major scale. There's many big companies already got into the space. They have already developed their own token, and they all have developed and has adopted these emerging technologies that are coming up here. Um, in the it's live. It's already live. It's not that it's coming up here. It's already live. It's just that at the level of adoption, it is still very early on. So it's something to see and to watch, because the information that I'm providing, it's not too much known because of the massive amount of individuals still lacking the knowledge of the space, and they don't quite understand that this is the future. Like you said earlier, the future is now, and this is why I position myself as an educator in this space to be able to help individuals come on board onto a space in a safe and secure manner. I wish Claremont was here so that he can vouch for what I was able to help him get onto the space in a safe, secure manner. And he got very excited because now you are in a complete whole new realm of opportunities and a whole new realm of possibilities to be able to increase your productivity, to be able to decrease your losses, and this is what business is are essentially for. They're to increase profits and to be able to decrease the amount of loss that happens into the business. And these are two of the major things from a perspective of having small businesses throughout the past 17 years and working with other individuals in different spaces. So I'm very excited to be able to share this with you guys, and I hope that you guys gain some value out of this. And if you guys have questions, or you guys got any doubt, be more welcome. So, but be expecting this April 27th, the launch of Crypto 101, Understanding the Future of Money. And I am very excited to be able to share with the world the point of view from what's happening with digital assets, for digital currencies, and how CBDCs are also a talk of the town, and they have to be accounted for, especially if you are going to be developing any sort of business models for the future. Thank you,
Yeah.
Gary.
All right, Elmore. Elmore, I want to thank you for that share. I know a lot of what you are saying. In the developed world, they understand the language, they understand the lingo, and they're on top of the game. I'm also fully aware that in perhaps middle income and developing economies, they are nowhere near having a clear interpretation of the lingo, at least not by the masses, of what you're saying. But I do believe that this is where education comes in, because the future is now. A lot of what you're talking about is not future tense, it's present tense.
Present tense.
But just for you, you are not adopting these things into your organization. Let me give an example. You spoke about AI, and I was just going to try to break it down a little bit. I can call an institution and have an entire financial transaction takes place without talking to a human because AI is there. What is that doing for the organization? It reduces the cost for labor. It reduces the capital cost of running that business. It perhaps enhances the speed of execution on that particular project. And think about when you could adopt these relevant technology to your organization, what it can do for your organization in terms of enhancing speed, efficiency, cost reduction, and all of these different factors. Yes, we know it can pose a threat to human sustainable involvement in the organization. But, there might be alternative for human now to take some time to self-actualize. But there's a lot that you go into that we have to take some time to look at them step by step and really help the public to have a better understanding of it. Because you say a lot in a short period of time, and I know it's a lot for a novice, a newbie, they may call it, to have a clear interpretation of what you're saying. But great share, and we definitely have to. I know I keep saying this to you, but I'm going to reach out to you within another couple of days and let us develop a special program to go into this. Perhaps I'm waiting for the book to come out. So whatever
Great.
we're doing, we can do it against the book. Great share. I want to come now to Paul to talk to us about finance a little bit more as we begin to wrap up. Um, Paul is our financial expert. Paul is definitely, whether you got a business and you want to, your business is in technology, or your business is in health production, or your business is, whatever type of business you have. As I said, we talk a lot of some of the challenges, but at the end of the day, we table solution. And Frank is one of those guys that helps us to deal with the solution when it comes to access and capital to move your business vision forward. So I'm going to open the floor to Paul. So Paul, can you talk to us a bit about finance and give us your closing thoughts on today's topic?
Yes, thank you. Uh, well, I mean, it's available. And I know I started off with my first comment that it's available, but I really want to stress that capital's available. Don't think that it's not. It comes in many forms. And the way we do it at Patriot Business Finance Consultants and Global Capital Incorporated, when you set an appointment with us and set an appointment with us if you want to talk about this, Paul at patriotbfc.com, Global Capital Inc. at Gmail, right below. Set an appointment so we can talk about this. It comes in many forms. The question is, what do you need? And let's match what you need with what we can do, mix it all together, and come out with a good result. So, what do we do? Real estate financing for commercial properties and investment properties, equipment financing, cash flow programs. If your cash flow is slow, well, that might require some working capital, or that might require factoring, which is selling your accounts receivable for a discount. If there's a large order that you cannot fulfill, Walmart, some other big organization that's not famous that nobody knows, but they put a large order with your company in, and you don't have the capital to fulfill that order, whether it's a service or a product, there's a program called purchase order financing, and the money to provide the service or create the product is provided. Let's say it's a product. You get an order of 1 million shoes. Walmart wants to buy them from your company. How are you going to fill that order if you don't have the capital? PO financing company will make that arrangement, set you up with it. They'll stand right behind you, actually right beside you, advance the money to have those shoes manufactured, advance the money to have them shipped from China or wherever to Walmart. When Walmart gets that order and pays the bill, everybody gets paid. So that enables you to take a large order. Would How bad would you feel if you had to turn down, you're a company and you have to turn down an order like that, right? Because that could be pretty life changing. It's a big deal. If they order from you once, they'll probably order from you again, but they're never going to order from you again if you have to say no to the first one. No, I can't do it. That'd be pretty bad. To tell your grandkids, I had a chance to do business with Walmart, but I couldn't pull it off, because you can pull it off and we can help you do things like that. So to recap it, equipment financing, real estate financing, cash flow, purchase order financing. There's still some other things mixed in there, but we want to work with you. So if you got any situation where you need capital for your business, absolutely get a hold of us and we want to work with you.
All right, great share. So if you're saying to yourself you don't have access to capital to move your vision forward, remember you're telling yourself a big, 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 big lie. Because what Paul had just explained is that with us, we can help you access capital. It can be perhaps as small as 50,000 US, 100,000 US, and it could go all the way up to millions of dollars in US dollars. So you don't have an excuse. We can help you access the capital. Use the email, use the numbers on the screen, reach out to Paul, reach out to myself, and we will be happy to sit with you, understand exactly who you are at the stage of your business, and come up with a game plan to ensure that you get access to capital. Thanks for that share, Paul. I'm going to come now to Shivani. And Shivani, your general overview on our top talking points today and your closing remarks.
Thanks, Gary. Always an interesting conversation to know how to grow your business. I love how Paul's, closed by saying you could get access to capital, and you also said it too. You can get access to capital. Capital is there. Just to talk more about that particular point, it's all about trust. It's all about understanding that if people, really know what to do, how to get it. And I love what you said. You can get it. You can get it. So just listening here. If I want to get capital, I know I can go by Paul, right? And you. So great for that. That was one of my points, and to really show the importance of understanding capital to grow your business. Because if you don't have capital, you cannot grow your business. You can't get into business. So to me, that's the first starter, right? You have to know where to get the money in order to grow. I also, just to speak about Elmer, he just threw back so many points in my mind. One being technology and how technology can really improve your business. Emerging technologies, as we say. I've seen a lot of literature. You mentioned the term academics, and if academics can grow your business, uh, I have seen a lot of a lot of literature, and what they're teaching you is not relevant for today's workforce at all. So it's a pet peeve of mine, Elma, as well. Emerging technologies is what people have to learn. Um, you don't have to do it in a very long 5-year degree or something. You do what we refer to as a micro learning strategy. So things have to change. Yes, you're taking learnings from before, but just as we project managers will say, you have to improve it, and you can develop it into different, smaller, compact literature. Because by the time you finish a 5-year degree, something else is going to come out in the market. And you need to look at now, how do we do it? So academics education got to change the length of time. I have seen some project management and some masters in project management, and um, we'll leave that conversation for another day. But it blows my mind to know what are we teaching people. It's not going to really give you, you're going to be wasting a little time
I'm
doing
telling you
something
that,
too long.
yeah.
too long. It's too long. So I love a micro learning strategy. Academics, that's what I believe should happen as we get more and more and older and in this environment, which is do not have long degrees and masters and stuff. You could do a micro learning. So there are different strategies. There are people doing it. Universities, we are doing it as well. So it is happening. It is happening as well. So that's what I wanted to contribute, and really to say everything we're talking about here. Do you understand your ecosystem? You have to have your entire ecosystem so that the literature, the data that you presented at the beginning, which is about startups, it's not going to happen. You don't want failure. So understand your ecosystem, understand how every single thing, it's to connect every single point. One, you can't say, okay, I'm going to learn just this one point and then expect my business to be great. No, it's not going to happen. So you have to know how to connect the dots. So project management really teaches you to connect the dots. That's a couple more points, and there's so much more, and we talk about it on show um 80 something, 90 something or something.
Yeah, 90 something.
Right.
Shivani, I must say today you are, as usual, you are dropping gems. All right, dropping gems. And I want to just expand a little bit on what you're saying. Um, Micro learning is vital based on the fact that changes are taking place rapidly. All right. This is not the 60s and the 70s. In today's world, something can be the reality today and it shift in a couple of days. That's how rapid change are taking place. So you need to have these micro pockets of learning to coincide with those changes. Now, let me say something else on the long-term learning, because you're right. When you commit all these years to learn a thesis, to master a thesis, only to recognize that at the end of that program, your thesis is irrelevant, your knowledge is irrelevant because things has gone ahead. There lies a problem. But I do believe that academics at the highest level represents nationhood. I believe it also represents globalization hood. I'm just using these terms. And I do believe that when you find that the academic in its context, in its contextual design, is not correlating with the national trust, the national vision, the global vision, there is where its irrelevant shines
Yeah.
very, very bright. So I do believe that if there's a coordinated approach, like for example, in the Caribbean, we have the Caribbean single market economy, you have NAFTA, the developed world, and you have these coordinated efforts. And I do believe that academics in of itself must take into focus where these G20s and G80s and all these big players are going, and ensure that in a perfect alignment is taking place. But I don't believe that that is happening. So you can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in getting your master's and your doctorate and only to recognize that it's irrelevant. Again, I am saying all of this because the fact that we are seeing today, we have a federal debt of over $1.707 trillion in student loan debt. And guess what? We have less than 8% that are able to pay off that debt within timeline. They are struggling to pay it. So debts are being created. They are not having the effective use of their studies. And again, the kind of benefit to human transformation we are not seeing, the kind of benefits to national transformation we are not seeing, and economic transformation we are not seeing. And I have my data and my statistics to speak on this. As time progresses, we will go deeper into these conversation. Last point here, um, academic must be able to transform business. I do believe that when you have the brain power come into the organization, it helps the organization leaders, it helps private sector to move even faster. Because, you know, as a private sector, you leader, you have so much that you're focusing on. But what if the institution that is nurturing the future generation is sending them into the organization well prepared? In our program, we talk about the law of preparation, but they're coming in well prepared with technology, understanding Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and understanding how we can build a business model around this and how we
Yeah.
can create additional cash flow and strategies around all of this. And they're helping to transform the way organizations are thinking because they're coming to the organization with that way of thinking to advance development. My last share of this. Elmore, did I give you a chance to do your closing remarks? Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. No, I just want
Up
to
to
say
you,
that.
Elmore.
Thank you.
Up to you,
No,
Elmore.
no, you. No, I love the way that you express those points there because they are super valid, and also Shivani, I sparked her brain, she sparks mine's back, and I have to say that the reason why I am in this space here is because I am wanting to educate 96% of the world's population that does not know understand how to onboard crypto security. Now, in my consultancy, I directly with business owners in this adoption of adopting technology, emerging technologies. So it is definitely something that I feel it is something that individuals like Shivani with the partners management, it's huge for them to be able to have access to this information about the emerging techs because they are the ones essentially who are the backbone to the organization. They are the ones who are organizing everything. They are the ones who are, making sure that all of the things that are supposed to be running smoothly are running smoothly, and they are the ones who also create the processes. So it's super important to be able to have an individual at this such an early stage of the adoption phase to be able to get yourself ahead of the game, not just in education for personal purpose, but also to be able to gain the knowledge through the consultancy on these three aspects of emerging technology, which is crypto and artificial intelligence, and then the new internet, which is the Web3 that I haven't spoken much on, but definitely I appreciate you guys' time and you guys' thoughts. And thank you for allowing me to be in this platform and sharing this information with you and your individuals that are watching. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, I'm just going to string some words together. Make academic make sense. All right, with that, Sirvani, go ahead.
I'll
Go
put up my
ahead,
hand.
Sirvani.
Right? I'll put up my hand, right? So,
You're
since
cool
we
is,
are
right?
talking,
Cool
right?
is, right?
Yeah,
That's
just
up.
something that Elmo said too that just it reminded me again, and I'm sure I mentioned it to you already, Gary. So my first degree is management information systems. When I That's my first degree, wow, yeah, you come out with a degree, your parents send you to school, you were degree and everything. Good, yeah, happy. I got a job very quickly. I mean, I was happy I got a job very quickly. But do you know what I did, Elmo, in that first, I think the first 2 weeks of that job? I cried, but I cried because I couldn't do the work. They wanted me to program. Well, back then was Visual Basic VB6. I never learned that in my.
Oh,
I could cry. So it's a story that I like to tell people in terms of are we preparing for the work, for the real world, the real
mm-hmm.
world. But I have a concept and how you could do it and how you can do it with this emerging technologies thing. But we'll save that for another day. You
Awesome.
with your nice one-liner thing, I have a one-liner too. Yeah, you're teaching my good. You're teaching my good.
Okay, Sirvani.
I love it.
The submetal shark metal, right? So we all learn it from each other,
Oh,
my
I
friend.
like that one too, Metal. I wouldn't tell people that one.
Hey guys, it's always a powerhouse to start with you guys in the morning. When I finish with you guys, you guys give me so much of inspiration. I got so much of energy to go through that day. I know I don't have to worry about access to capital because I got Paul right here on my side, and he got a buddy going on. I got you, Shabani, over the project. I got Elmore keeping me in the future. Keep me anchored. Tell me don't become complacent because the
Yes,
future is now.
yes, yes, yes.
All right, I want to thank the audience also from across the world. We are reaching over 50 countries, and I'm so excited about that because when we started this platform a few months ago, we weren't reaching any place. Today, I want to thank my team who have come on board to help with the digital marketing and branding and building the platform. Today, they have attracted over 30,000 subscribers to the platform. Kudos to you, my friends. Again, we have less than, uh, how should I put this? We have less than 70% of those who are viewing the programs who are subscribing to the program. We just have about 20 point somebody percent, which is over 30,000 persons who have subscribed. So I want to encourage those persons who are viewing the program and you didn't remember to smash that subscribe button and to do so now. So you will be the first to get these programs that we are bringing to you on a regular basis. Again, if you're in business, don't sit on the fence. We have Shivani is going to help you with project management. We have Paul. He's going to help you to access capital. We have Elmore that is going to bring the future to now and really help you to understand how to prepare yourself to deal with those realities and how to build wealth along those process. Of course, he talked about Bitcoin cryptocurrency being part of EFT. And if you understand what is EFT is, one of the safest forms of investment. We go into all of that as time and progress. So I want to thank you. I want to thank my team. I could not have done this without my team. You guys are all gems, and I want to wish you guys a pretty interesting day. All right, you have Easter coming up, so if you plan to fly kite, do have fun, and do remember to put kite from the white, because I want to see you guys back here. In all your good health and everything, in the weeks ahead, in the months ahead.
Awesome.
Paul, you want to say something? Or you good?
I'm good. Everybody have a
You're
good day.
good. All right, my friends. Thanks again. Shabani and our coffee. I'm going to get my coffee now, Shabani.
Me too.
All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.